Battle of Portaloo, February 2022. I've been to a few protests in my time, probably too many, I guess, if that's such a thing. But I've never been to one where some bright twit has decided to open up a Portaloo, put his hand in, scoop up as much human shit as he can, and biff it at a line of police. You know, how to win the hearts and minds of people 101. Don't use Portaloo poo on the police. Number 2, how to win the hearts and minds of people. Don't drive a car into a crowd of people. Number 3, don't gather up horse piss, put it in a soft drink bottle and squirt it at the cops. None of this stuff works. Trust me on this. You know, we've been hearing a lot about this thing called police by consent, policing by consent. And I'm getting a picture from the people around me and out there that the consent that the police never had at the beginning, they are now getting. They are now getting the consent from the general people that they've had enough of you. And they're going to start using more, shall we say, traditional forms of handling protesters. And that's going to hurt real hard. And I can see that the New Ages, the crystal-waving tarot card mob, they're all clearing the hell out. They've read the mail. Things are getting nasty down there. I saw a video on Facebook yesterday. Someone been knocked unconscious in the street in a fight. And while people were trying to tend to that person, another fight broke out. And the ambulance couldn't get there because it's the one place in all the history of ambulancing in New Zealand. It's the one place now that they refuse to go. You've created a no-go zone for your own care. So you had to drag this poor bugger out before anyone could treat him. Your real problem is you haven't got any leaders. And the reason you haven't got any leaders is because none of yous are. You're all followers. You follow this guy or that shaman or this guru. You know, they tell you what to think, but they don't tell you how to think. So when I try and engage with you, or the government tries to engage with you, you meet up against this wall of ignorance. It's just ridiculous. And you want to negotiate with the government. Well, what for? What do you want? You want the mandates to end. The mandates will end at as the peak passes. As the peak of Omicron passes, the mandates will end. The passes will disappear. Oh, you're still hanging around even though you've got that. But what did you want then? I heard one guy just now, he wants to arrest all the police and try them for treason, high treason, and then execute them. I saw the guy on day one wanting to go and arrest Andrew, what's his name? Andrew Little, demanded the police accompany him to Andrew Little's office so he could take him out and try him for treason and crimes, and they had a noose there to hang him. Is this what the argument is? You want to execute the government and the media? Because I can't see what else you're going on about, you know. There's all sorts of other things there, but nothing that's making any sense. You've basically come together at the idea of a few Nazis. And while you say, we're not all Nazis, that doesn't excuse you from being in a group of them. Unless you isolate yourself from that group or isolate them from you and make a clear demarcation that we found out who the Nazis are and we've sent them packing, then you're in there with the Nazis. I was sat and watched Sir John Luxon, as I call him, Sir John Keysman, send a very warm message of support to the poo throwing, car attack wielding, horse piss flying mob. I I saw Winston Peters go in. You know, Winston Peters, the guy that tells us the gang, we're soft on the gangs, goes into where gang members are, gives them a high five and says, shame the government's not listening to you. What did Winston spot a vote or two? Did Luxon? I mean, these people have chosen a very bad time to do an election campaign. Cuddling up to a bunch of poo throwers or poo testers. Very, very, very odd. You know, the party of law and order, national, prides itself being the party of law and order, when really it's going along and saying some good people in here. You know, like Trump, good people on both sides. No, it's hard to work out where it ends, doesn't it? But I'll tell you where it will end, I think. Is you got a pandemic going through a wave, Omicron, absolutely starting to take off. Over 3,000 cases today, 150 people in hospital, 170, whatever it was. And you got this group of unvaxxed, unmasked, I have natural immunity types in a very concentrated space. So we all know what's going to happen here, don't we? They're all going to get sick. And they're going to get sicker and sicker and sicker. And the numbers are going to thin out. And the only people who will remain will be their nasties. And the consent that those police are looking for to break some bones and bring truncheons down on people's heads and into their guts and their ribs, their knees, their elbows, will be there. And we'll see a very ugly scene. And you know the real shame of it is,